Deaker.
This year started brilliantly for me. We ran a competition for a round of golf with Lydia Ko at Gulf Harbour, and we played a couple of blokes, one from Dunedin and one from Queenstown. That's an awful swing there, but look at that gorgeous swing. There are people in your life who make a difference. Lydia Ko has made a huge difference in my life. I probably go over the top about her. I think she is something really special. She is my performer of the year. And this win, back to back, hasn't been done for 25 years in that particular tournament, never been done by an amateur. No amateur's ever won it before. She just keeps on breaking record after record, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Why?
that seems standard for her. I think it's just because she's so young and so bloody good.
Yeah. Have you ever seen her putt as well?
That was awesome to see her roll the ball like she did that weekend. That's I suppose anyone that follows her knows that that's one part of her game. Yep. If she could improve it week after week, just like she is now, that could convert to all opportunities.
I've watched her closely, as you know, and I watch her practice as well. And I haven't even seen her in practice putt as well. But she goes through the same routine when she's practicing as she does there. She does all that stuff that you've coached her the whole way. Here she is here, Guy. Give us the drum on this.
Well, I'm not a golf analyst, but these are the mechanics that we've been working on for some 10 years now at the Institute, and trying to make it as simple and as efficient as possible. And we keep getting remarks from the commentators on TV of how classical golf swing it is, and it's very different to a lot of other women on tour that swing it all over the place and yet get it done. So it just goes to show that Lydia's going to be around for a long time.
So our performer of the week in association with Two Times You, and I said to Bruce Miller today, who's from Two Times You, that their golf gear is exceptional. And they're going to be, it's a New Zealand company, and it's going to go, I think, gangbusters. Lydia will also go gangbusters. We're inclined to forget just how young she is. She was 15 when she did this interview with me. We're very proud of you, and they made that point about Gulf Harbour tonight being extremely proud of you. I would think also that Korea would be desperately keen to get you. They're wealthier than we are. What are you going to do when they come along and offer you a heap of money? You're going to say, bye-bye, Kiwis?
I might be saying the opposite, bye-bye Korea. I don't know if they'll want me anymore, because the PM said, oh, Lydia is a Kiwi, so you can't take her.
Who did he say that to?
To the President of Korea.
Good old John Key.
So I don't think so. And I really love New Zealand, and I haven't been back to Korea since I've come here, so yeah, it's like when you look at me, I don't look like a Kiwi, and they'll probably think, oh, she's an Asian or a Korean, but inside I feel like a Kiwi, and I'm getting some accents like, it's cool, you know?
She is so open, so transparent. She's a breath of fresh air, unlike another golfer that I interviewed.
I want to talk your basic values. It's interesting. In every interview I've seen of you, it is family first and golf second. Always be like that?
Always. Always.
Where did that come from? Your dad, your mum?
My mom. My mom.
She was the disciplinarian in your family?
Yes, she was, absolutely. You think my dad, being a former Special Forces operator, was the tough guy. No, he was the softy. My mom was my mom was tough.
The interesting thing for me is that to get to the top in sport, you have to be selfish, you have to be focused. And here we are, where suddenly you were able to do that when you were single, but when you got married and had kids, it's just family first. So how do you switch to make sure that you are the best golfer in the world as well as a good dad?
Well, you don't, certainly I don't practice as much as I used to. I don't spend the amount of hours on a golf course and like I used to. But my focus is so much more intense than it ever used to be, because I don't have the time. I know I have to get whatever I have to get done in a shorter amount of time. And it's very much like I was at Stanford. It's about time management skills. It's about understanding that. So you go back to that. the amount of books, the amount of material that we had to go through, and we're traveling all the time, practicing, working out, trying to get all your studies and trying to get everything. You had to manage your time, and you go back to those foundations, that understanding, and you apply that to life. And I learned a lot at Stanford, and certainly it has applied once I've had a family. It's been great, actually. It's been the best thing that's ever happened.
Tiger and his wife Elin now have 2 children, 10-month-old Charlie and 2-year-old Sam. We were pursued for that clip. 17 networks internationally tried to buy it. And in the end, yes, we did sell that. And, well, you look back and you think it was timing there. While we're on values, though, there are 2 people who have had a huge impact on me. I've interviewed them both because they are public figures. They were people who shaped me to a large extent in the way I think about sport and the values that I hold in life. Here they are. When Chris Doig was made Chief Executive of New Zealand Cricket, a lot was made about his background of being an opera singer. Now, we all know that in operas there's trauma and there's drama. And certainly in cricket, there's been a bit of trauma and drama. So in reality, Chris, I would suggest to you that an opera singer was the ideal background for handling it all.
Well, you might say that, Murray. I was pretty aware when I took over the job that it wasn't all going to be plain sailing. So I had girded my loins, so to speak, for some of the drama that has unfolded this season. It's totally different, though. On stage, it's pretty surreal and unreal. You might be dealing with life, death and love. But in the real world of cricket, those dramas certainly have an impact on the fans, on the players, on the coaches and ultimately on their media. So it becomes pretty real.
Harder or easier back in the 60s?
Far easier back in the 60s.
Was it?
Oh, no question about that.
Why, John?
Well, there was pressure there's pressure on the guys now. There's doubts about their future. Professional sportsmen are on a pretty short fuse, and if they don't perform, they don't get paid and they get dropped. And many of these youngsters, well, they won't like that word, many of these young men haven't got any fixed future past cricket, and I suppose past rugby too. In my day, I was an amateur, I was a teacher, and that was my profession, and that's what I wanted to do. And rugby was a bonus, a great bonus, and a privilege to be there, but it wasn't my life. Teaching, family, sport, friends, that was my life. Professional cricketers, they have friends, not much family because they're away most of the time, and they're on a very short fuse, and most of them know that. So it's damn sight harder.
I miss Chris Doig a lot. John Graham still remains one of my very closest friends, and I go to him for guidance, have for many, many years, and do appreciate it. But the last 2 blokes I want to show you are basically family. When I came out of teaching, I sold cricket gear. We sold it out of the back of 2 cars. Another bloke had just been sort of pushed out of the Navy, and he was looking for a job, and a mutual friend pushed us together. And Wayne Shelford and I have remained very close ever since. The other guy, well, basically I taught him. And I guess you make sometimes a difference in a person's life. And Danny Morrison has brought me great joy because he was somebody who needed to be picked up by the scruff of the neck, shaken around a bit, and he proved to be a very good player for New Zealand. These 2 guys are much more like family. We worked together, we sold cricket gear together, we talked to kids about alcohol abuse for the Foundation for Alcohol and Drug Education, and they're an important part of my lives. I was just starting this game, and I came over to watch you play, and here it is. Tell us what's happening, Danny.
Oh, this LBW on McDermott? Yeah.
He's gone right through him.
It tucked him out. What's happened is actually slightly reversed, I reckon. I didn't know that. We didn't know about reverse back then, and it just hugged in a fraction, and there was no inside edge. So when you look at it, it's probably missing off stump and missing leg stump. Watch it just tail a little, just there.
The big thing here is that this cost us the test match. Richard Hadley had bowled brilliantly.
Yeah.
You bowled well. This was the last wicket to get out, and Dick French is the umpire, and the whole crowd, even the Australian crowd, booed when it was replayed, that you didn't get the LB. Jeff Crowe lost the captaincy of New Zealand
It would
as
have
a
made the
result.
series 1-1.
Did you ever think that they'd bring you back?
Well, I thought they might have given me that chance in 1991 when I was probably the only performing number 8 in the country, but they still forgot to bring me back.
Did you ever find out why they dropped you?
No, I never actually, and that's one of the things that are going to be taken to somebody's deathbed until, in years to come. But I've never ever found out a real reason for why they actually dropped me.
So that's it. 21 years on Sky. It's been an absolute privilege. What they haven't realised at Sky, or realised either at News Talk ZB, is I probably would have done it for nothing. I have loved it. The things that interest me are sport and people. And to make that your profession, how lucky have I been? I'd like to thank our advertisers. Without you, this show would not have taken place. The management at Sky, the management at News Talk ZB. It's been an absolutely wonderful experience. Folks, I've had a total ball.